Well, hello everyone. Here we go again for another authentic conversation. This is episode 39, and I'm happy to announce that we're going to have Pamela Downs on our show. My name is Adele Bernard, and this is Transition Clarity, and the podcast is Authentic Conversations. And before we get started, I'd like everyone to subscribe, like, comment on our shows because I enjoy bringing them to you, and I hope that you're getting just as much out of every show as I do. Our goal is to have a nugget or a couple nuggets that you take away from every show. And I think this one's going to be another one that you're going to get a lot of nuggets from. So I want you to meet Pamela Downs, the visionary behind Spirit Calling. Pamela founded Spirit Calling to help guide people through their spiritual awakening. The Spirit Calling online community offers classes and tools to heal the body, mind, and spirit. Members have access to practitioners who lead monthly calls and answer questions. With guidance from the Great Council of Light, they offer support to those on their spiritual journey. Join Spirit Calling today and connect with like minded individuals and discover the power of the community in divine guidance. She also has exciting news. Pamela now has a TV show on the Ethereal Network called Divine Wisdom, where she shares messages and updates from the Great Council of Light. Tune in. She also has a live call podcast on Spotify where she's well versed in spiritual awakening, self empowerment, channeling, psychic abilities, visions, and premonitions, the clairsenses, Reiki in past lives, ayahuasca energy work, angelic beings, ET, soul revival, manifestations and law of attraction, shaman journeys, frequency, vibrations, dimensions, soul work, discovering if you're an if you're an empath, exploring the true essence of embodiment of love and understanding the soul's purpose. And with that, I would like to introduce Pamela. And here she is, Pamela. Welcome to the show again. And I'm excited you're here. Let's see what Spirit's calling us to do together.
Yeah, I love that. Hi, I'm so glad to see you. It's always great to have conversations, and I'm excited to see what comes and pops up today too.
Well, Spirit's in the house. I'm already
Yeah,
feeling it.
yeah.
So,
Spirit's definitely in the house. Spirit's in the house in a big way. Spirit is moving so quickly now,
mhm,
and now that we've wrapped up July, today is the next month,
yeah.
and we're moving into the second part of the summer. The energies of July. When I channeled a message for July from my guides, a Great Council of Light. I'm a trance channeler. They said July is going to consist of many unexpected events. And for those who are living with their spirit first, with their inner compass guiding them along their journey, they're going to be in an amazing space of creation mode, alignment mode, having
Hmm.
the right people coming at the right time, the right ideas, all the pieces coming together effortlessly and quickly. For those who aren't, they're going to be in a sea of chaos running one direction and a sea of chaos running the other direction. And it's going to be all the attention put on it. And that's
Hmm.
what we've seen, is it not?
Yeah.
So
But so
it's
I
interesting.
just want so I just want to preface that we might just be in August right now, but this recording probably won't be out till October.
Okay. It's good to
So,
know though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but if you look back at your life and July
Yeah.
was like, holy crap, or oh,
Uh-huh.
that's
No,
interesting.
July was holy crap. Most definitely holy crap.
But you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it could be like
Yeah.
all these opportunities coming and it's like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, thanks, Spirit. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Or,
Well,
oh my gosh, we're back on the roller coaster.
yeah.
But how do you see like September, Octoberish?
Same, which is very
Oh,
relevant. So
great.
if you are looking at this later in the, the months
In the
following,
year.
that's what they said. When I channeled in the beginning of the year, Q1, the beginning of Q2, it was all talking about how everything would be shifting towards the fall. The energy would be elevating, the chaos would be elevating. I mean, that's what we're seeing. We would know that anyway if we weren't
Mhm.
even talking spiritually. We were just talking energy. We're talking this is an election year, or this.
Well,
But
not
if
only
you
is it
really,
sorry, not only is it
hmm
election year, like I didn't realize 51 countries are in elections
I didn't
this
realize that
year.
either.
And I was like,
Wow.
so if there isn't a global change happening in
Oh yeah.
2024, then you're living under a rock,
Oh, there most definitely is a global
right?
change
And
happening.
it's
Yep.
like, so where is this, uh, for lack of a better word, phonetic energy going, right? Because
Right.
it's like, because I know we're in that
Shift.
love and community and coming together in unity. Not
hmm
like I don't know, oneness isn't enough anymore. It's more of a unity for me,
hmm
but yet we still have to breathe through the next 6 months or so to
hmm
kind of go, okay, like how are we moving forward? Who's going to be our leaders in all these countries that are changing? Some have
hmm
changed already, some are going to be changing.
hmm
How do we breathe through it as individuals
hmm
without
Yeah,
going crazy?
it's a good question. What the guide said in the beginning of this year to
Hmm.
help us navigate all the change throughout the entire year is pay attention to what you're consuming. That's what are you watching? What are you talking about? What are you spending your time doing? Are you in the right frequency? Or are you just letting yourself be hit with everything, having conversations, spending time doing nonsense? You have to hold yourself in high regards because they said as the wave of change happens, as now listen, 51 different countries are all having this energy
Yeah.
around our world. Think about that in itself, just an energetic state, right? That is disturbance. That is a shift. And the guides want you to be able to get your house in order, to get your own state of being in order. Hold yourself in high regard. Spend time out in nature if you need to decompress, to
Yeah.
get your energetic state in a place where it needs to be. You're sitting there surfing on social media, engaging in crazy comments and nonsense and conversations that aren't necessary. You need to reflect on that. Why? Why are you doing it? How does it make you feel? It doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel pulled into nonsense, like the waves behind you. You can get caught in a wave and then you're out of control. Before you know it, you're sinking. You don't even know what you're doing.
Right.
So they're saying, pay attention. Pay attention to who you're talking to, what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're listening to. And, there's small things that you can do to be able to ride the waves, to be able to be on a in a little lifeboat, riding those waves and be like, hey guys, I'm having the time of my life. I just created this and I just met this person and I'm doing so many amazing things because that's the opposite of it. If you are paying attention, you're on a whole different frequency. Think
Well,
about
and
oil and water, right? Oil and water, they don't mix.
well,
If
and
you're so high, yeah.
I also want to touch on the fact of paying attention even to your body,
hmm Yeah.
right? Because through this emotional roller coaster, our body is showing us like where aches and pains are that are
hmm
saying, we're ready to release. Are you ready to release us? Let that frozen shoulder go, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
we have put the emotion in there maybe 5 years ago, maybe 50 years ago, who knows? But it's like
hmm
everything's coming up to be released because it doesn't need to go forward.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. There's a lot of ancestral trauma. a lot of ancestral energy that's
Mm-hmm.
being released right now. And the ancestors are actually coming to support us in our journey to help us because they know, like some of us who, like I just said, the people who are really paying attention, who are living with their soul's purpose, who are creating impact on the planet, who are paying attention, they're stepping into their life's greatest work, you know,
Yes.
and our ancestors are there trying to support and rally and cheer and clear roads for us and, do all the things
Hmm.
to be able to help us because that work is so needed. Um,
Well, and I think like that's been my biggest shift in my work is not only do I help people through the transition, but it's like I want you to shine.
yeah.
No more dimmer switch, right? Like that's for all of us. Like step up to the most authentic self
Mm,
and throw the dimmer switch off. Like
yeah.
it's
I love
full
that.
on, let's go. And we need everybody to be their authentic self.
Hmm.
So we all as a collective can go forward.
Yes. Together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
just gives me
I
chills.
know. Yeah, it does. It's beautiful. I
Yeah.
just yesterday was having lunch, a business lunch. These are the conversations that are happening more and more and more. So as things are shifting in the world and people are going, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand why that happened or why wasn't that caught or wasn't the policy usually this put in place this way and why is it being shifted and why is this person getting special treatment and why is that I don't understand. So there's like these cracks happening where people are wanting to like pull it away, see what else is there. They're starting to form their own opinions. They're starting to, have more conviction about what they believe. They're starting to proclaim what they believe more. And
Yeah.
you're starting to see those shifts. And as that happens, people are feeling more empowered, which helps them shine more brightly, which helps them feel more confident. And that raises their vibration and that
Yeah.
puts them in alignment with other things. And,
Well, and it's also the truth. Like my truth might not be your truth,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? It's the higher truth of all concerned.
mm-hmm.
And we all have our path to get there,
Yeah.
right? So we
Individual.
might, yeah, we might be on different vibrations, but connecting to go, how does that feel? How does that work in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and just, a little bit about like last time we were talking, it was just like you had a lot of things that you're like, well, do I move? Do I stay? Do I sell? What am I doing? Right? And so it's just really exciting to celebrate
Mm-hmm.
with you that you moved.
Mm-hmm.
You're
I
on a different
did.
trajectory. You're just like, Yahoo, let's go.
Yeah.
Right? I'm saying yes to everything.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's funny because August is known as that um month of like inner child and play and how are you playing and I saw the post from a friend like it was so hot where she lives in Tennessee that she was out playing in the garden in the sprinkler and I was like, why is that a child thing? Why
Right.
aren't
Can't
we
we all
allowed
do that?
why aren't we allowed to as adults? And I was just like, absolutely. Because I remember when we had water parks here, like I was the biggest kid going,
Hmm.
you
Loved
know?
it, right?
Yeah, because it's like, who can go down the fastest? Well, you know. So yeah, and it was just like interesting how we think that certain activities are only for children,
Yeah.
where it's no, be the biggest kid in your own life and
Yeah.
remember you can work hard, but play harder.
Yeah. The guides talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
And I just did an inner child meditation. It was it was an episode that I recorded a channel message for my new show on the Ethereal Network. And it was finding your inner child or return to your inner child. And it was like, think about all the things that you loved to do when you were a child. You didn't care if anyone was watching. You didn't care if you looked stupid. You didn't care if someone said you could do it or you couldn't do it. You just did it. You were on a whim, constantly present, just satisfying your creative pull and direction and just living like beautifully in the moment. And that's what they want us to do. They want us to be in that space because it's such a freeing,
Yeah.
beautiful place to be. Yeah, water park sounds fun right around now too.
As we're all having like a hot
It's so
summer.
hot here today.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
but we also can just do that inner water park in our hearts
Mhm.
and have
Totally.
that play, you know.
Mhm.
And um, so okay, I want to go backward to go forward now because we
Mhm.
kind of started off like, whew, right?
That's what I do.
I know, and I love it. I love it. But I want the audience to understand a little bit of Pamela and how did you become who you are today? Like,
Oh my gosh.
where did you start to, you know, because we all had that like dream of like, well, when I grow up, I'm going to be a fireman or I'm going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
And mine was always teacher, and it took a long time to accept that title because I had
Mm.
such regard for teachers. I
Mhm.
was like, I'm not a teacher. And then it was like,
Interesting.
yeah, you are. I'm like, no. And then I even read the book, right? Of the autobiography of a yogi. And he talks about the teacher, the student, and then the student will become the teacher. And
A
I'm like,
teacher.
no, I'm not there yet. But it was just my
Yeah.
own stuff, right? So where did
Mhm.
little Pamela start off to say, I'm going to
Mm.
be calling spirits in?
Yeah, she didn't start doing that till she was 50. No, but it's true. And I often say, this wasn't something that was ever on my little like I want to be this when I grow up journey. It was never. I grew up as a creative. I was good at two things, art and music. And I always felt like I didn't fit in, when family was talking about the world affairs or, anything that maybe I didn't feel like I fit into. I would always withdraw because it wasn't what I was good at. I was good at art. I was good at piano and I was good at connecting. I was always good at connecting. And I remember I was always good at connecting with elders, like people that were older than me.
Mhm.
I felt more resonating when I was in their presence than I did with people my own age.
Well, it's
Um,
about being seen too.
yeah, I guess so. Probably when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up in my family was mostly like an Italian Catholic background, and my parents it was kind of like a challenging childhood. My father was an alcoholic, and he became sober when I was in fourth grade, but he still was just kind of like they call like a dry alcoholic. Like he didn't drink, but he
Oh,
had all the
wow.
same tendencies and stuff. So it wasn't like a warm and fuzzy place to be at home. It was
Yeah.
more like, oh God, he's coming home, act busy, or you're going to be the one that he picks on today, and um, he was challenging, but I always would like find my music. I would always find my music. And I used to say I escaped to my music, but what I understood as an older adult, I was connecting to spirit.
Yeah.
I was going to that place that felt good and safe and I could escape, but I was actually just diving into the pool of source energy. You know what I mean?
Well, and
And
also being with you,
being with, yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
You're
Yes.
escaping the chaos to come
Yeah.
home to you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And so I found myself you know, in the Catholic faith and getting all of my sacraments and all the things. And then I wound up choosing art as a career path because I had been so immersed in classical music. I was kind of done with it. And that was my first, if I have to think about like choosing those pivotal moments where you had to go into one direction or the other. I had only really known that I was like really good at music, but liked art. And I got to that crossroad of, do I want to do this or that for a career path? You're 18. You don't know what you want to do.
You know.
You don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Honest to God. And I was like, I think I'll choose art. And so I chose art and went to art school and I got a BFA in graphic design, professional artist. And I started working in my field and I had that imposter syndrome where I was like, they're going to find out that I'm not really good at my job and they'll go fire me one day. You know what I mean? When you first start out, it's like owning the word teacher or whatever.
Yeah.
And I actually like through that one job understood I was really talented and I was actually really good at my job. And people like that were successful, that were my peers, were like looking at me in a certain way. And I was like, oh, I'm like them. Okay. Yeah, I'm not just this person that my parents or my family used to make fun of or whatever. I'm actually like a successful person. And um I never lost my music, but it just kind of like went away for a while.
Yeah,
And I wound up, getting married and starting my own business in 2000. I started a marketing and branding firm, and I had that for 24 years. I was as an entrepreneur, and I really liked being in that space and being
yeah,
able to like support people who were starting businesses or work with nonprofits. I had like I used to say heart based approach, but I
hmm,
didn't understand. I wasn't spiritual. I wasn't conscious. I wasn't woken up. Like I didn't know what any of that was. I just knew I could really connect with people. And in, I'd say 2008, 2012, when the recession came,
hmm,
my husband lost his job, and marketing was the first thing to get cut. And I had what I call my knockdown. And we lost everything. We lost our retirement, our savings. We lost our home. We lost our friends. It was a dynamic shift in my reality. It was everything got thrown up, put back in a place that didn't make sense. And I had to like go through this excruciating time of like trying to pick up the pieces and figure out how I was going to live. And we did it. Through that journey, I found the law of attraction. I found Esther and Abraham Hicks, and I started understanding that I am the creator of my reality. I started understanding that the words that I was using were
yeah,
creating more of the same. They were creating more of the same, then more of the same, then more of the same. So when people would see me, they would say, Pamela, how are you doing? I'd be like, oh, Billy lost his job, and marketing got cut, and we had to leave our house, and it was like this and this
yeah,
sad, sad story. And I started with that. I started changing my words,
yeah,
and I started saying, it's amazing. I've kept my business through a recession. It's amazing that we are all living in this little house, and we're
hmm,
carrying our big house, and someone's renting it, and hopefully we'll sell it in a better market. And, I started like saying positive things. And then I started seeing my life change. I started
hmm,
seeing the evidence of that over and over and over. And then the right people started coming in at the right time. And I started my spiritual awakening. And then my dad died, and my father died of alcoholism. And so I watched my
Oh, so
dad.
he didn't stay
He started
sober.
drinking again.
Ay, ay,
He
ay.
started drinking again when I think he probably started right after I got married. So he started drinking. I don't know. He was sober maybe 20 years. I don't know, something like that.
Yikes.
And he had a hard time with it. And I watched this bully, who just was like always saying he was this powerful man. He was a bully. He was a bully. That's
Yeah,
just what it is. Become like this shell of a version of who he was. And I watched his body deteriorate, and then I watched him die. I was at the hospital with him when he died. And I watched his spirit leave his body. Now, I didn't know it was a spirit. I mean, I had religion to tell me what I thought that experience was, but what I saw was a meat suit in front of me that didn't move, didn't have life. That life went somewhere. Where did it go? I had to find out. It was just like, my gosh. And what happened was the universe put this experience in front of me. And there was this spiritual mediumship gallery that I know a bunch of my friends had been talking about. People I thought were my friends, who actually, when the shift happened, kind of like just kind of fell
yeah.
off to the side and weren't really around
I call
anymore because
those
I
no
didn't fit in.
decisions,
Yeah, right, right. I didn't fit
right?
in because I wasn't a part of a duo anymore. I was a single, and I was, not even that. We lost our house, and like we weren't in the social circles. And somebody bought a ticket to the spiritual mediumship gallery, and they didn't want it. They had something, a conflict or something, and they offered it to me. And at the time, like I didn't have $80 to spend on a Saturday thing to
Yeah,
do. Like it was a big deal. And they said, if you want this ticket, it's yours. You don't have to pay me back. I can't go. Go. Take my ticket. And I was like,
yeah,
okay. And so I did it. And when I walked in, I sat down at this guy, Rich Brinconi, who became my spiritual mentor over about 10 years. Um, he came in and he looked at me and he said, this is how we're going to get started. There were only like 10 or 15 people in this room. And he comes over to me and he goes, we're going to start with you. Your father's here. And he died of like a liver, was his liver, was it alcohol? And I said, yes. And he said he wants you to know that he's sorry for the way that he treated you.
Hmm.
He couldn't be the father that you deserved. And he never told you how talented you were. I was an artist and musician. And there were like all these things that he said that were so unique to my father and me that like there was no denying that this was my
Yeah.
father. And he existed beyond this physical form. And that
Mm.
was it. That was the beginning of it all. That was it. That was it. That was it. I was in the library reading Many Lives, Many Masters.
Yeah.
Uh, and I was in the library in the metaphysical section reading Talking to Heaven and James Van Bragg. And I mean, I was looking at every single stinking thing because I opened the floodgate and I wanted to know more. And I wanted to know more. And I wanted to do more and more and more and more. And so it was like, I want to go to this thing, or I want to go to this, or I want to go to YouTube. And I couldn't get enough. I really couldn't get enough. All these things started happening at the same time. I went to this shared Reiki thing at a yoga studio
Hmm.
where like six Reiki people were working on you at the same time. I went with a friend, and I was
Oh
was
wow.
30. I was don't ever do that.
No.
Or maybe you should. I don't know,
No.
but
My body
I
would blow up.
did it. That's that's what happened. I was the last one. So we're all like six people waiting on a yoga mat for these people to get cleared on a table. So I was the last one, and my friend was waiting for me. They put me up on the table, and these women started working on me. Suddenly, this flood, this like wave started in my chest. This wave started, and suddenly I started howling, and I was releasing and crying and howling, getting rid of all these emotions in my heart chakra. And I never experienced anything like that in my life. It was the beginning of my healing journey.
Hmm.
It was the very first thing on my healing journey.
But what a
And
big
this,
door. Like,
what a big
holy
door.
cow.
Now that happened again on my throat chakra at another experience. I had a past life come through and I was foaming at the mouth and I was actually experiencing being hung. And it was the most incredible and the scariest thing I ever experienced. That was the beginning of the next level of me
Yeah.
diving into my healing and uncovering my talents and my abilities. That that shortly followed. After that, I did a week-long ayahuasca journey. Um, and I did all this past life healing, all this life healing. I did so much healing over the course of 4 days. And at the end of that ayahuasca journey, this light came through my third eye, filled out my whole head. I heard crackle, crackle, crackle. I felt love, source energy vibration in my body.
Yeah.
And then took my breath away and I heard everything from this moment has your psychic abilities have been enhanced. Everything from this moment moving forward will be different. And
Wow.
that was the beginning of all my clairs opening up. That was the beginning of everything. And that was in November of 2019. I came home. We had the holidays. And right after that, COVID came. And instead of sitting in front of the TV, soaking up all the noise, which is what I say, the vibration, watch your vibration. I decided every morning I just was working with, I was meditating, and then suddenly guides were coming in, and I could feel their vibration. And at night, messages were coming in, and I was having visions, and I was receiving downloads and premonitions, and I was on this like super fast track of expanding, and like all these things starting to happen. And over um, one night, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I heard spirit calling, spirit calling, spirit calling. And I got up and I wrote it down. In the morning, I bought the domain, the URL. And then over the course of a year, I kept hearing you're to build a portal. There's going to be a glass ceiling that breaks, and humanity is going to stop in their tracks. They're going to look up and out into the world that is and not understand who they are and what they believe in. And they're going to need a safe place to land. And I'm like, what?
What does
This is
all this
me.
mean?
And I'm like, a portal? What is that? I design websites. Like, I don't know what a portal is. And you know, I'm laughing, but seriously, and I kept hearing it over and over and over again. And also, like the teacher term, I'm like, me? I'm gonna do that? Humanity? Like, what? That doesn't sound like little old me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you think this vision, this mission is so much grander than you. Well, you don't know. You don't know what your story is gonna
Mhm.
be. You don't know when you're a kid that you're gonna write this like amazing story of what you become. You don't know. And
Well,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
And at
and
the
see,
end,
that's the slight difference to our journeys where I
you
was
did know.
3. I was 3 when I started awakening and knowing and
It's
having the
amazing.
guides, and and people would look at me going, "Where are
What?
you?" And I'm like, "I'm right here." And they're like, "No, you're not." And then like I actually literally had one friend who said, "Unless you know who they are, don't tell us what they're saying." And I said, "Too bad for you, because I
Yeah.
have good information."
Next. I
Right?
have good
And even to this
information.
day, like people say, "Well, who are your guides?" I'm like, "I don't care."
Hmm.
Because it was actually Sheila Gillette who channels Theo, who
Theo.
taught Abraham,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
And she said the new wave doesn't care what you call them.
Hmm.
It's about the listening and getting the message. And
Right.
I'm like, cool. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's Michael if I'm out at this certain lake. Sometimes it's Gabriel if I need some healing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's right, Joshua.
Yes.
Sometimes it's Mary Magdalene. Sometimes
Right.
it's just like I don't know who you are, but you're here. Talk to
Yeah.
me.
Right. And you know the frequency of it. So that's all that
Hmm.
matters. And it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And that's who we're coming in. All of them and more.
Hmm.
And you know, it started off with some of the ancient Egyptian gods and guides that were coming in the very beginning, Ra and Thoth. And then it started with galactics. And
Yeah.
I was on, as I was told later, and, you know, I had to have all this courage to be able to do it because I was by myself. No one was coming over to anyone's house. Nobody was doing anything. It was COVID. We were all in lockdown.
Yeah.
And I was by myself in my living room. I had my little phone recording every single message every morning, every
Hmm.
2 hour session. And I was journaling and I was drawing all the things that I was seeing, all the experiences I was having. And I had galactics by my bed. I'd wake up and there'll be three of them standing there putting energy into me. Or, I mean, I was just on this fast track of frickin' like contrast and understanding vibration and frequency and dimensions and beings, intergalactic communication. Like, it's crazy. And the angelic beings, though, the buoyant, beautiful Magdalene energy and the feminine energies that are even more buoyant than she, they are incredible. It's an incredible feeling. And there's so much love
Hmm.
that it's like, you know, you could be in a space saying, who are they? Well, you just start in a space of understanding the answer. So that's all it is. It's people trying to like put it into a box of understanding that they have. And so I that was me too. I didn't understand it, you know, and I just kept on doing it because I knew I was supposed to. And then through the course of a year of meditating and listening and doing the work with them, I kept continuing the work I was doing with grandmother ayahuasca. I kept reliving past lives and going through the deaths of them. And every time I did it, my vibration was raising and raising and raising and got to a point where I was actually able to bring in the guides that I channel now. Predominantly, the Great Council of Light is what they've told me they are called, and they're creator beings. They're super ancient, super high frequency creator beings, and they're so filled with love. Their
Hmm.
intentions are so loud. There's no, I don't need a word to describe what it is. It's a frequency,
Hmm.
and they want to support us. They want
Hmm.
to support humankind through this awakening journey, through this change and the evolution of our planet and the shift in consciousness and the events that are going to take place. And I channel messages every month for our community, and you know, they're messages of support, love, and guidance. And I also offer channel messages. I connect with people's guides, so I do a series of different offerings for that. But there's different ways for people to learn because ultimately they're learning about themselves. They're learning about their path, their journey, who they are, how they show up in the world. They're on their healing journey, and you know, it's like my greatest work. You know, I love talking about it. I love doing it. I love being in it.
Well, so do you feel like the ayahuasca journey was the catalyst?
Hmm. Feel
And
like I was
do
on a
you
fast
think
track.
do you think you could have gotten there if you'd done like just started meditating on your own? Like that you would have opened up enough?
Um, the answer to that question is it's not a do I think, it's a do I know. They wanted me to be ready for the shift that is happening in this decade. There was no time to waste. And I didn't tell you the backstory of that. When I saw through my wormhole of like YouTube exploration, this movie came on about this man, Gerald Powell, who opened up Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica. The second I saw it, I knew I was going there. That's when my knowings were really strong. I didn't know how I was going there, didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I didn't know how myself, and I was going to go to another country to do a class 1 hallucinogenic drug. I didn't know the answers to all those.
Yeah.
I didn't need to. I knew I was going. And the universe put in front of me this exchange. I did trade with this person who introduced me to this person
Yeah.
who said to me, I'm going to do ayahuasca. And I said, so am I. And he said, where are you going? And I said, I'm going to a place called Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. I don't know when I'm going, but that's where I'm going. And he said, Pamela, I'm going to Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in November. No one ever says these things to each other. It's not like what I have at a lunch meeting or whatever. And we became friends, very close friends. And he said to me several months later, I would love to invite you to go to this retreat with me. One of the owners is in one of the groups that I am a member of, and they're closing the whole place down. And there's going to be 40 high conscious thought leaders who are already working in a spiritual space globally who are going to be there. I would love for you to be a part of this group. Like, I didn't have to think how it was going to happen. I
Yeah.
was guided to go there because I had to do my clairs so that I could do this work right
Yeah.
now, here and now, you know? It's cool.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because even this podcast, it was like I fought it, right? I fought it. I'm like, nope. I did it. I have a few shows, and I'm like, nope. Try to shut it down. And 7 months later, it was like, are you ready? And I said, I am
Nope.
not going to do
Oh,
the show, right? What? And it's like, what do you need from us to do the show? And I'm like,
did you not hear
are you
me?
not listening? Yes, basically, right?
You said I'm
And
not
so
doing that show.
And so I basically said, I'm never looking for another guest again.
Oh my God. Well, there you go. They're like,
Well, so
uh.
just for anyone listening, we're recording this August 1st. I'm at least 3 months pre-recorded for air date. I've never
Yeah.
looked for another person again.
Oh my God. That's
And
amazing.
and the beautiful thing of it is I could have never understood the people who are coming,
Mhm.
like even you and I, like
Yeah.
because I met somebody else who introduced me to someone else too, and I'm like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
I
Right.
I'm not in
I'm on
any
the ride.
control of this
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, who do you know? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Well, thank you. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like most of the time sitting here going, wow, I gotta re-listen to that because that was like intense, or there was so much information, like, hmm, right? And
You're like, I didn't expect that. I didn't even plan for that.
well, and it's interesting how like not I'm gonna say a different word. Like how your dad was such a catalyst to this,
Yeah, he was. He was the catalyst. He
right?
came here to
Because
do that.
he couldn't because I've heard this in the sober community a lot is that because I used to wonder why they all were attracted to me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I don't understand. And so my nephew is a counselor helping people get sober. And one of his clients slash friends said, um, how do you not know that we're attracted to you? And I go, I don't get it. No one can explain it to me. And he said, because you embody what we're all trying to achieve,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
It's
To
your vibration.
be to be the light of God without the addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, huh, because I've never known any difference,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And um and so I was like, okay, so I'm working with that. And then as as I said at the beginning of this, like throwing out the dimmer switch, right? And so many people that I find that aren't able to do that sober, they keep falling back, is that It's like walking into a stadium with all the lights off. They become sober, the lights are all on, and they can't turn it down,
Right. It's so much.
right? So their
Mhm.
system actually goes, we can't do this. And it's
Mhm.
kind of like how you had the six Reiki people.
Mhm.
That's
Right.
overload on the system.
Yeah. Well, I have an interesting add-on to that. My brother went down the same path, and he just had a liver transplant. And so he has a different frequency of a liver. He doesn't have alcohol coursing through his body, dulling
Mm-hmm.
his frequency. He's living in a different vibration,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like imagine that. Like that's totally a totally different way of doing it. There's an addiction that has an energy and has a frequency
Mm-hmm.
that resides inside of um, people that have an addiction. And everyone has an addiction. It's not a unique thing to alcoholics. Everyone has some sort of an addiction to something.
Yeah. Whether it's
It's just got a
shopping or
different
eating
label.
or, yeah.
Yeah, it's just got a different
It's,
label. Yeah.
but I
And
mean, so, but I'm just so there was a story of this little kid who, in a freak accident in Italy, dies, and the
mhm.
parents donated his organs, and they got all the organ people together. There's like 26 of them, right? And one of them was just like, I didn't even know there was anything such called pistachio ice cream. And the
I
mom
love
just started
pistachio
crying
ice cream.
because that was the kid's favorite.
That
Not
gives me
every ice cream
chills.
place had it, right? And
Yeah.
and other thing, like all these stories, and they're like, yeah, that was our son. That was our son,
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
right? So like your
Yeah.
brother, like that
Yeah.
that
Frequency.
liver
Mhm.
has all that energy of that other person. And
It's
to,
so interesting.
yeah.
So interesting. I
I
mean,
mean,
that
we
whole
talk about the
experience.
DNA that we
I
know came
know.
through our bloodline.
Mhm.
Your brother now has a whole different strand of DNA coming through him, and it's up to him to step up to understand it or not.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And he's on a really good path right now, so I'm really proud of him. And it's hard, he received a lot of the emotional trauma from when we were young.
Yeah.
And I did too, but not in the same way as he. I was 4 years older, and I won't get into any of that because I want to
No.
respect him. But it was,
No,
it
but
was
the whole
hard.
Italian father son thing, like,
Yeah.
enough said
Well,
there.
Well, it was my father was more German and my mother was
Oh,
Italian. That's a whole other ball game.
yeah.
Yeah, but families, everybody has one,
Yeah.
right? Well, some
Some try to get rid of their
rid of
blood
them.
ones and choose their own, right? Like it's like,
It's so
are you
good.
having Thanksgiving with your blood family or your chosen
Or your
family?
friend family. That's my
It's
favorite
true,
holiday.
right?
Yes.
It's true because it's
It is.
like, and it's same with the friends. It's like in a lifetime, we might have three true friends.
Hmm.
The rest are mates. They hang out. We
Hmm.
might share a little bit, but those ones that get the all of us, that get the true essence of when our light isn't shining, and they just hold that space for you to say, I'm not shining. Nope, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to come home. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. And then you
Hmm.
feel that love. Like that's what, and it's like you're saying about having that older generation, because I know lots of young people that have no time for the older generation. I'm like, sucks to be you,
Hmm. Right.
right?
Right.
Because they're
Yes.
there to love on you, to guide
Yeah.
you, to show you there's no
Hmm.
expectations, there's no judgments. They're just there to hold that
Hmm.
space for you to grow and blossom. And
Hmm.
when these younger people are just like, I have no time for you, well, you're gonna be alone in your old age,
It's true.
right?
They have
Um,
they have a
because
different
yeah,
experience.
I just
Hmm.
like I love all my old friends,
Oh
and I mean I have one friend who's 96 and she's like cannot be kept up with.
my gosh, she's probably amazing.
Yep, she's just a going concern, and it's funny because I'm really close to her kids. They consider me the fifth daughter, so I'm like, oh, um, um, and I because I used to be a professional driver, and they're just like, I don't know, like you drive with mom, and I'm like, I'll let you know if she's not good. And so she actually phoned me and said because of COVID they can't take her out, and I'm like, I'll take you out, see if you're okay. And she went and I went out with her and I said, okay, these are three things that you got to watch out for, but other than that, she goes, okay. And so her
That's
daughter
good.
phoned when we were parked in the parking lot. And I said, your mom just passed her driver's test again. And they're like, wonderful.
That's
Right? She still
amazing.
lives in her own home. She still insists
It's
on cooking
incredible.
Christmas dinner.
Hmm.
She goes, the kids will take over, but I don't want them to. I can
That's
still do it.
nice. Yeah. Well, she has a purpose,
Well,
and I
but
think that's
she's
important.
in like
Yeah.
as an artist, like she's an
Hmm.
incredible artist,
Mm.
right? And I'm like, she's like, there's not enough time in the day. I got too many things to do.
I think that sounds amazing. That's what I want to be like. I want to be doing my
Well,
art
that's
at
what I say. Like,
96.
talk about a
Yeah.
role model. Like,
Yeah, totally.
oh my gosh, like I couldn't have found a better role model ever,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
That's so true. Yeah.
And so back to the COVID thing of how strange it got. She was born in Germany under Hitler,
Wow.
and she went, "This is wrong. The world
Ah,
doesn't shut down."
right.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Tell me more."
Well, because you innately know, you just know what's
Yeah,
right
she
and
still
what's
went to
wrong.
school. She still
Yeah.
got food. She did, yeah. But
Hmm.
anyways, it's a change, and it was sad that it took that to start making people wake up.
Hmm.
The more important is guides are here for everybody. The Galactics
Hmm.
are here. They've been here since June. They're here to
Hmm.
help, whether you
Hmm.
believe in this stuff or not. That's up to you,
Hmm.
but it's here. And
Yeah. There's more shifts coming.
I'm trusting
Yeah.
that um, whatever America looks like will step up because we're in the same time as when you guys got your independence from 1776.
You know,
We'll see how you step up.
we're not. It's going to be a shit show here. I've seen it
Well,
many
but
times.
if you don't, if America doesn't step up, then the world will never be the same.
They're not going to, and the world's not going to be the same. I've seen it
Okay,
over and
tell me
over
when.
again. I've seen it over and over again. And as far as like timelines, they can change, of course, but time frame, I don't want to get political, and
No,
that's never my intention.
this
But
isn't about
I
politics at
was
all.
told, well, I was told that there's going to be a one world government, a one world currency, one that's all encompassing and controlling, and there will be a shift, and that's what's about to happen now. Like these places and these pieces have to be broken down to create change, and it's happening slowly. It's like the pot with the frog. Like it's all happening slowly. And the guides say that it happens slowly so that you feel like you're a part of this change, like you have a voice in it, but you really don't because there's a larger plan in place.
Oh, see,
And
I get totally different information.
no, I got in that. And I've seen the premonitions of it and the visions of it. Um, and it's not that it's a bad or a good thing. It's just what it is. And the control with the one world currency is the way that they can manipulate the control is to have a one world currency. And but this could be, you know, not in my lifetime, maybe. I don't know. So
No, I
that's the
know, but
thing with them.
so
Yeah.
so this is how I've been envisioning it from what I've been getting. Could be right, could be wrong. Who knows? Well,
Mhm.
I don't know if we're going to be around to see it. Is
Right.
that the paradigm is flipping? So the government will be the tip on the bottom. Yes, it might be one world currency, but there's only going to be maybe 10 politicians in the world. Not 500 for each country. 10
No, there's
for the
not.
world,
There's yeah. There's it's
right? That the
going to be a one world
people
government.
and so then I was like, okay, well, how's that going to work? And basically, the world is going to start shifting into like 3, 4 different categories of this whole section are the farmers. This whole section is the tech. This so it's not going to be Canada, US, Australia, whatever. It's just going to be one.
It's
And
going to be
so
one
it's
world.
really interesting
Yes.
because I heard that Texas is getting ready to rumble. And I'm like,
Ah.
okay, Alberta's right there with you,
Yeah.
right? Because we're known
Yeah.
as Little Texas, right? For
Right.
Canada.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going to happen? Because Alberta's fed up with our government in the East.
Yeah.
Texas is fed up with Washington. And I'm like,
Everybody's fed up,
I
period.
know, but it's like, oh, we could
Hmm.
be that land.
Hmm.
I don't
It's
know.
true. Yeah. I would love for that. I mean, I know I can't say that. I can't say that because ooh, in 2020, when I was having all my visions and my downloads, and I still have them now, they're just different.
Yeah,
Um, it was, it was, there's going to be an economic collapse. There's going to be, um, it's happening right now. This is 4 years later. Hurricanes,
yeah,
volcanoes, all the volcanic, there's going to be tectonic plates that shift and
yeah,
all the volcanoes are going to start opening up. That's what's happening now.
yeah.
And I'm trying to remember.
But
There's
I
been
read that 30
so
years ago.
many. Yeah, I know, but there, if I could, I wish I could get
Like that Salt
my,
Lake City will be an island
yeah,
because the water
right,
comes up and
right.
that
Well,
right?
that's what they're saying too. Exactly.
Yeah, but that was Notre Dame's. Like that was 300
Right.
years ago.
Yeah, well, where do you think he was getting his information from?
Well,
And
I
they
know, but
say the time is now. The time is now. And you're
well,
like,
I
when is
know, but
now?
the
When
thing
is
is,
now?
like I remember this is probably 20 years ago or so that I was on Vancouver Island at my girlfriend's and I was a lot heavier then and I'm on her couch and they had an earthquake.
Ooh.
I moved with the couch and I went,
Ooh.
it's time to go. We don't do this in Calgary. like,
Where are we
like
going?
I'm out of here. Right? Because I'm like, this is not kosher. um, but
Mm,
then yeah, like and it's like I remember reading too about like our mountains won't be used for skiing, and I'm like, what would they be used for?
mm.
We
Right.
get less and less water every single year. Our
Yes.
snowpack is maybe a quarter of what it used to be,
Mm.
right? And people are
Yeah.
just, well, I got to water my lawn. I'm like, no, you don't.
Mhm. Let the
Like
lawn die.
this year,
Yeah.
I've seen so many people pulling their lawns out because it's like we can't water. Figure it out.
What are they doing in with their lawns then?
They'll put a rock garden or something,
Something
something
like
that
that.
doesn't need
Yeah.
water, right?
Yeah. That makes
Because
sense.
Alberta's a desert. It's the only place in the ice ages that never froze.
Wow. It's so
That's why we have
cool.
the most dinosaur deposits.
Now I'm gonna have to go look it up again.
Yeah. So,
It's so neat.
and if you're listening, we're having fun. We don't know. We're not
Yeah,
predicting
totally.
anything. We're
Yeah.
just like whatever. Um, in saying that, it's also be very aware of your body and what messages each individual is getting.
Hmm.
Because your guides could be saying blue, and my guides are saying red, and the other guides are saying green, and other sides are saying pink. I don't know. I just got to follow my trajectory. Everyone else has to follow their trajectory.
Yeah. Discernment, whatever resonates with you.
Yeah, right.
Whatever resonates with you. Absolutely.
And so it's funny because I have a friend who takes women to Egypt to um for their businesses for bringing them to themselves more. And she goes, "You coming?" And I go, "No, I'm done with Egypt." And she goes, "How can you be done with Egypt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've had too many lifetimes there. I'm done with Egypt. I don't need to go there."
Yeah, I couldn't go inside those pyramids. I have a claustrophobic thing, and maybe it was derived from that time in my life. I don't know. In one of my lifetimes.
Have
The
you
thought of
been?
like going there, no, the thought of going in those small spaces and I could never ever do it. I could never do
Interesting,
it. I
because
couldn't never do it.
the last one I cleared was it was before the pyramids were built, and we're all chained. Yeah, and
Ugh,
I'm like,
nah.
shackles are gone. Like I'm done with this. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean it's fascinating and it's crazy and it's exciting and um it's everything, right? Because we just we just have to live our life the best we know how and with the guidance that we get. And um, the ones who want to join us are coming,
Yeah,
right? And that's
totally.
what I say to people who are deciding if to work with me or not work with me. If you're to work with me, you'll find me
You'll
and we'll
feel a
gel.
resonance.
And if
Mm-hmm.
we don't, I'll move you on to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's right.
I've done those clients that they don't gel, but I took the money. I'm like, I won't do
Right.
that anymore.
Now, because it's not in alignment. I was
Yeah.
just talking about that with I was on a recording right before this, and doing a session with someone, and she said, Pamela, I'm at a frequency where I can't work with certain people. Like I can't, people can't read me. They can't do energy work on me because my frequency is so high. She goes, this was really good. Everything you said, because on my frequency, we're in alignment. She goes, but I've done work on people because she's an energy worker. She's like, where you're not always in alignment with everybody. You just can't because of their vibration. And it's like there's like you said, it's not a match, or you just
Yeah.
don't vibe. Vibe is the word.
Yeah.
And that, that's life, that's in your life too. That's
Well,
everything.
and
Yeah.
I've even asked for some people to come on the podcast, give them the link, crickets. I let it go. I don't chase,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
like if you have all the information or if you've lost it, that's a different story. Then call me back. I'll send you the link
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I I'm not chasing people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what my guides were saying. No more reaching back to help people up.
Yeah. Right. You're
When
in a
they are
different
beside
trajectory.
you, when they're beside you, you're willing to walk side by side. If they're
Mm-hmm.
behind, mm-mm, no
Mm-hmm.
more. We've
Mm-hmm.
been doing that too many lifetimes of, well, you should come. You're ready. And they're like, we're not ready.
You don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you don't have to ever find anyone. They come to you
Yeah.
because you're
And I
in
think
that
it's cool,
frequency.
like that, like from how I understand it, is that we're in the first wave going through, and there will be three waves, but it'll be a while. And that's what like when I first heard that, I instantly went back to I think it was the 70s, that movie of the Invisible Man,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, that's where we're at. We don't need coats though. We're just invisible to those who aren't ready to move forward. We can see them, they can't see us
Right.
until they
It's
raise
so
the vibration
interesting.
to see us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's people who like have the partly dressed, right? Or they see like they that happened to
Like
me yesterday.
glimpses. Is there a
Right, right.
person there? I don't
They're
know.
trying to. There's people that's the people that continue to be connected to me. Like everywhere I go, I could park and walk into the supermarket and I meet someone. It's nonstop. I go to a networking event and I meet someone who's just starting to have the glimpses and the little understandings. And I was at a luncheon yesterday for like it's just a lunch with this woman who is a strategic partner, and she got up to go to the restroom. And to my left side, I heard like there was this lovely couple, older couple sitting there, and I heard her say, "We're spirits." And then I heard him say, "Well, but we have a this body." And I was like, "Oh my God." So I got my business card out from my spiritual business, and I just kind of lifted my hand over the plants and kind of stuck it through and dropped it on their table. And this woman was like, "What is that?" And I just smiled, and I heard you say spirit, and this is look at the card, and it's spirit calling. And then it started this whole conversation of them saying, this is divinely timed. We were having this conversation. We want to talk to you more. They're in a religion, but they're seeing fragments of things and they want to like put the pieces together. That's where a lot of people are right now.
Well,
Is that,
and
yeah, the box has got cracks in it. Like I said, the glass ceiling, right?
yeah. And it's funny how you say about the religion because I was part of this mystical group who used to say it was the true savior out of the Catholic religion.
The one.
And I started laughing, right? Because I'm like, oh my Lord. Well, because a lot of people end up like feel like, well, they can't look at spirit or they can't talk because, well, the Catholic or the Christian. I'm like, oh my Lord, stuck with the dogmas. We are
Yes.
God, God is us, we are all one. So get rid of the church of the earth.
Hmm.
Connect with the spirit of God that you are,
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
right?
But they don't know because they think they have to, there's a separation. That's the conversation we
Well, I
had
know, but
yesterday
that's
with,
why
yeah.
I work with recovering church people,
Hmm. Those
right?
church people.
Right? And I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm
I like
like
church people.
no, but I grew up in the church too.
Yeah,
So
me too.
it's just it because I just remember like even as a little kid going, why is the pastor lying?
Right. Right.
And my aunt would go, what do you mean he's lying? He's not telling the truth. God would never say that. And then I was leading small group Bible study. We're on the weekend away, and the leaders are having their meeting while everyone's doing their homework and stuff, right? And this was a solid person in the church who's, and he's like, I'm not a child of God. And I'm like, what do you mean you're
What are you
not a
doing
child
here,
of God?
dude?
Right?
Yeah, like,
And I
yeah,
said, he goes, well, I just keep sinning. I can't get it right. And I'm like,
I feel
time
bad
out.
for that person. Yeah.
I said, you cannot not know you're a child of God and you're forgiven. Whatever crazy things you think are in your head, it's not true. And I remember leaving that weekend going, who do we have leading people in the church?
Well,
Because
that's what happened
he
with me.
was
Yeah.
a big time in the church. Like
Hmm.
people looked up to him, and I'm like, wow, in your darkest, deepest corners, you're not believing. You're
Hmm.
good at talking.
Well, they become an occupation like other people, and it's almost an identity.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
this wasn't a
yeah,
paid person. This was a
right.
volunteer to,
But I mean, it is, that's still the thing, though. I mean,
yeah,
part of when my dad was going through sobriety, he got involved in this like Pentecostal church and he became a deacon. I just said this on the phone to someone earlier today. Like I was like, well, you're one way in public and you're another way in the privacy of our home. And
yeah,
it's like, it's just that there's a disconnect, a complete dynamic difference of you're not embodying,
yeah. Well,
even if it's
and that
of
brings me
belief
back
system.
to the
Yeah,
meme of you're 5 minutes late to church and everyone scowls at you as you sneak into the back of the pew, where you're 5 minutes late for dinner at AA and they're like, thank God you made it. You okay?
yeah, yeah, right,
Right? Because they
right,
don't know why
yeah,
you're late. Were you
right,
going to
yeah,
use or not?
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
And
difference.
in the community, they always have an empty plate because you
For
never know
anybody.
who's going to show up. And that's kind of in
Yeah.
the farming community too. They always have an extra chair at the table because someone might knock and need a plate too.
Hmm.
Right?
I
So
like
it's
that.
just interesting, right? Like,
Yeah,
are you going to scoff at being late or are you going to embrace that people show up?
right.
Because we don't know what's going on in their lives. It's more
It's
important that they
such,
show up.
yeah, but see, that's empathy and that's on compassion, understanding, and that's being externally focused and not inwardly focused. And that's just the way that our world should be running. Everyone should be that way. Everyone should always be thinking about someone who might be in need or might show up or might need support or a plate. I mean,
Yeah.
we're so far removed from that. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad, but I just have to know that things are shifting in a better way where people are becoming more conscious. And if we do have another pandemic situation, we'll have another heart opening situation,
Yeah.
and where people are able to, reconnect to themselves and their commitment to their life or their community or their family or whatever it is. And we that's the perspective too, right?
Yeah.
A lot of creation happened during that time. A lot of evolution happened and connection happened during that time. It wasn't all doom and gloom. There were great things that came out of that time.
Yeah.
um, and that's also the future. There's a
Well, and
lot
people
that's going to
figured out
happen.
where they lie,
Yeah, right.
right?
Exactly
Like,
where they land too.
are you friend or foe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, like through the
Mm-hmm.
struggle, we rise to our purest being.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, we've gone all over the map. I
We
love
have it.
it.
That was fun.
Yeah. So if we could sum up this like crazy conversation, what do you want people to know, to understand about, listening to their spirit calling?
Yeah, I think that give it a chance. If you've never tried it, try it. Just I keep looking at the waves behind you and I'm longing to go to the beach so badly. So they're speaking to me. Ah, but like for instance, if there's water near you, or a park, or if there's a beautiful tree that you admire that you love, or something that brings you to a place of peace, something that allows you to break the monotonous thoughts, that the things that are just occupying your time, that
Mhm.
allows you to give your spirit a chance to be heard. Try to practice that. Try to just do it. Be deliberate with it and
Mhm.
give it a chance to be heard, because there's all kinds of miracles and amazing opportunities and synchronicities and like loving experiences for you, and your life can get better. It just needs the opportunity to be heard, to be seen, to be experienced. I think that, and then that guidance, if you have never had it before, it's amazing. It's there. It's yours.
Yeah.
Right? It's free.
Well, and I'll just add to that because that was just beautiful of whether it is sitting in the park under your favorite tree or journaling or just taking 3 deep breaths.
Yeah, sitting in your car at the
Yeah.
red light.
Like don't get mad at the red light. That red light's there for a reason.
Right, what did it do to you?
Yeah. Right? It's told you you're going too fast.
Slow
Slow
down.
down,
Stop.
take some breaths. Okay. Are you in your body? You weren't in your body. It saved you, right? And that's the biggest thing I can get from my guides is slow down and just remember to be within your body
Yeah, it's awesome.
and be
I
present.
like that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
once again, Pamela, thanks for coming to
Thanks so
Authentic
much, Adele.
Conversations. I'm your host, Adele Bernard of Transition Clarity. Wow, what an amazing conversation with Pamela Downs. Spirit was definitely in the house. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the little Buddha behind her kept on lighting up as we did talked. Um, so that was very cool. And remember, this is our guidance. This is what we see and feel of what's coming forward. You got to find your own truth in what is being shared and your own understanding because you have your own journey. You have to shine your light how you need to shine it. We just gave you just different ideas. Some people say ayahuasca, those um, journeys are the best thing that's ever happened to them. Other people say don't do them because it's a false ceiling and you can't sustain. It's your journey. Live your life how you need to live your life, and we'll just keep journeying together. So, once again, I'd like you to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. We love to hear from our audience. And I'm Adele Bernard of Transition Clarity. And this was another authentic conversation. Bye for now.